All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Oshunbumi Fernandez West, and I'm the CEO of Odunde, and I'm so excited to have my sister Shani, who up there texting horrible messages on our group text. But we're gonna have fun this evening. I want y'all to all learn about Shani's story because most people see the glitz and the glamour, and you're traveling and you with this person and that person, and you know this person and that person, but they don't know the story behind it.
Absolutely.
Okay. So Miss Shani, I'm so glad that you're here. First of all, Shani, tell everybody how I met you. I met Shani through the twins.
Yep, I met Boomy through my good friends, Elena and Delana, twin doctors. Everybody knows doctors. And she's been one of my best friend pickups in the last decade.
Yeah. How long is it?
More like family now. Her kids are my kids. They're my nephews.
Yes, they are.
They are definitely my nephews. And
call Aunt Shani in a minute to get that. So you better get that gift right, boy, and go call Aunt Shani.
You know I take care of them every time.
Every time. So Shani, we're here. We're part of the Convo with the CEO. I'm so excited to have you this evening. Convo with the CEO. This is a real organic conversation, real conversation with real people, and I want people to hear your story, Shani, in your words. Okay. So Shani, tell everybody, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Philly, in Mount Airy, the Mount Airy section of Philadelphia.
You was a bougie.
That's what they said, but you know.
You was a bougie. You're bougie. I saw the house that sit there and got his little walk-on porch. I saw it.
It's a middle-class family, you know. My parents were, my father was a blue-collar worker, and my mother worked for Temple, and you know, they just provided us a middle-class life.
So, you went to what elementary school, what middle, what high school here in Philly?
I was one of the bus kids, so you know, I lived in Mount Airy, bus to the Northeast. I went to Baldy Middle School, then I went to George Washington High School, and then Temple University.
Oh, you did go to Temple?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Shani, I didn't know that.
Yep.
So our paths never crossed, though.
I know, because I was always like a worker. I had a full-time job when I was in school. I worked for Pico. You know, I was always really ambitious. I was doing my little small business thing, so I was always in and out of school. I really didn't get the full college experience like I should have. And I was a little bit resentful, which in hindsight is crazy because my mother worked at Temple for 40 years. But I always in my mind thought that I was going to go away to college. So like when, you know, of course my path was to go to Temple. So my parents laid that out for us. So I was a little resentful, you know, I was like, oh, I got to stay in Philly, you know. But
you're free, honey.
Absolutely. And as a child, I had friends who wanted my mother to adopt them. So
yes.
You appreciate those things until you get older in life.
Yes.
But you know, it was all good. I didn't really do a lot of campus life. I just did what I had to do, and I get in and out. You know, I had a life.
That's like grown, being fresh and grown. That's what you try to do, being fresh and grown.
I had a full-time job in a full-time school, you know, so.
That keep you busy right there.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what inspired you when you were young to get into the professional industry that you're in? What made you get into that?
Well, I knew at a very young age that I was going to be in business. I had influences in my life from a really young girl, like 8-10 years old. I had a cousin who, she was more like an aunt to me, and she was a very successful businesswoman. She was like my idol as a young girl, and a lot of my family members say that I am the version of her. And she was very successful. She managed $1 million contracts in like the 80s. She owned the janitorial service, all hers from the ground up. And overnight, they just blew up and had $1 million contracts. And, you know, she spoiled us, my brother and I, she spoiled us. And, I watched her be a woman entrepreneur as a young girl. And then when I was 15, I lost my cousin at a young age. She passed away early, like in her early 50s. I want to say she passed away at like 50. And but I was very young. I was like 15, but like I said, it only took that time to leave an impression on me. And then when I was 15, I worked for Burger King, was my first job, and it was owned by a Black woman. And
wow.
And when I got that job, it was so much more to me than just working in a fast food restaurant. Yes, I wanted to earn my own money, but I was more impressed about what Miss Allen, her name was Miss Dorothy Allen. I never forget her. I was more impressed by what she was doing in the back of the scene than what I was supposed to be doing in the front of the store. I used to be like, so now what's going on back here? So you mean this is yours? You know, so I was more impressed by that at a young age. And like I said, when I was about 10, I told my parents I was going to be a businesswoman. You know, I didn't know exactly what the path was going to be, but I knew that I was going to be a businesswoman. So
your influence and your mentor came from within your own house, from within your own family.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So then let's talk about how did that role take on place? So you were going to school, then you had your own side business. Tell me, how did you get into Dolly's Boutique? How did that happen? And where did you get the name Dolly's from?
Well, Dolly's was named after my late grandmother. Dolly was her nickname, and that my grandfather used to call her. He used to call her Doll, and then we used to call her Dolly to be smart. And so it just became her nickname. And when I opened, so rewind a little bit, yes. Rewind to I want to say like my mid-20s. I had multiple businesses before Dolly's Boutique. I owned an auto detail business in
Shani. Okay, so I'm sorry. You're right, Shani. Let's rewind a little bit. Take us through your steps. So at college, what was that first business?
In school, when I got out of school, I opened a auto detail business, and we literally full auto detailing, all year long, and it was females and males running the business. And it started with several of my girlfriends that helped me start the business. And, you know, in the beginning, people didn't take us seriously because it was like females running an auto detail shop. And then we got some males who knew how to do full service detailing. And then I started getting contracts with like Temple Police. We started doing like some of the Philadelphia Eagles cars. And then when I met Allen Iverson in the 90s, and he started bringing us his cars, it just changed the game. And so they wasn't taking us as a joke no more. And then, you know, I winded up having professionals. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was my first crack at business, and it really taught me a lot about business. It wasn't necessarily something I wanted to do for the rest of my life, but it was, I always wanted to be in business. So even as a young girl, I had a hair salon in my mind. I walked kids to the bus stop for money, you know. I always did little things that I could do on my own. And so when I was in my early 20s, I had the money and the funds, and I had an opportunity to get this building to open the auto detail shop, and I made it work. And so it just taught me a lot about business. It taught me a lot about community and how businesses are supposed to, what they mean to the communities that they serve. And I just learned a lot, you know. And I had the detail shop for 7.5 years. And at the time, I always was into fashion. So I had the detail shop. I was selling jewelry, clothes.
I know that's right, Shani. Yes.
I had like a waiting room in the detail shop. I would sell like jewelry, accessories. And so around about that time, I started putting, I named my accessory business shop Shani. And I started putting display cases in salons and nail salons around the city. So I would have these like glass display cases, and I would fill them with merchandise. And I would make a deal with the business owner to put the case in their shop. And every week I would go and come and change it. And in the same time, I would go around on Saturdays and sell stuff to the clients that are in the salons.
Because you know, Saturday's a busy day. Saturday's a busy day at the salon.
Absolutely. I was known all over the city. I would go in all the major salons all over the city. And I built my clientele like that. So a lot of people think that I just showed up on Germantown Avenue with Dolly's Boutique. It was a process. It was a long process that had started way before I opened any brick and mortar stores. I had display cases. I had the trunk of my car. I used to host friends and family at my house. I would cook Sunday dinner and invite them over, and then I would have a whole display of stuff that they could buy and come and eat. So Shop Shani was the beginning of Dolly's Boutique. And so I did that for many years, but I also had a full-time job, so it was, my passion was my business, but my job was what was, providing me like the real security. And it took me a while to be bold enough to really step out and say, okay, this is really where my heart is. My heart was there all the time. I just was scared to just jump, and so the way fate will have it is that in the beginning of the economic downturn, 2008. So mind you, I did what I did for 10 years along with my full-time job. Yeah, wow. I did that for 10 years. So after the 10 years, I had a lot of customers. I had a lot of people, all over the city that knew me. So the way fate may have it, in 2008, at the beginning of the economic downturn, I got laid off from my job at the American Friends Service Committee, which is a nonprofit that I was working with in Center City. And I love the job, but unfortunately they had to lay off a large portion of the organization at that time. And so this was my opportunity. This was the first time in my life that I did not have a full-time job. I knew what I wanted to do, and this was my time to jump. And so I didn't necessarily have to jump on my own. I was pushed a little bit. So I opened Dolly's Boutique, and unfortunately I lost my grandmother a few months before I had my grand opening for Dolly's Boutique. And so it was just a no-brainer what I was going to name my store. I didn't necessarily want it to be Shop Shani. I wanted to have a whole new identity when I opened the boutique, and it was just a no-brainer. My grandmother was the love of my life, and so everything I do in and out of the boutique is to honor her and to honor her memory. So,
wow. Okay, so now you have Dolly's Pursuit. So your grand opening is at the store where you're now, Shani? Where your current
my original store is at 6778 Germantown Avenue. It's in Mount Airy. I opened in October of 2009, and we've grown a lot since then. In 2019, we opened our second location in Center City at the Fashion District. Okay. And then prior to COVID, we were actually working on some other opportunities as well to expand. Unfortunately, COVID has halted some of those plans, but we're still, pivoting and figuring out what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. But we're extremely happy at 6778 Germantown Avenue. It's more of a community. It's a boutique, but it's like a community hub. So that's what we do.
That's what you do. So Shani, tell everyone about being an entrepreneur. What are some of the trials and tribulations you have faced during your career?
Whew. How much time you got?
Yes. Because you make it look so easy, Shani. And my mother always say people who make it look easy are the best at what they do. You make it look so effortless. Absolutely. So tell me about the trials and tribulations of being an entrepreneur, a businesswoman.
Well, where do I start? It's not easy. I will say this, and I say this a lot, and I don't say it to brag or be boastful, but I started my business when there was no Instagram, it was no Facebook. It was just straight hustle and straight street hustle. I built my clientele base from the muscle and from the mud. It was no Instagram, it was no Facebook. It might have been a little MySpace, but it was not the monster that social media is now. Yeah. I'm not trying to say nobody's grind is not legit, but social media has made it very easy for people to go into business. Yeah. When I started, it was not easy. And so I think that it has made the difference in my longevity, my ability to face adversity, because like I said, it has not been easy. I started the business at the beginning of an economic downturn. Everybody told me, why are you opening a business when everybody's closing businesses? Mm-hmm. But at the time, it was an economic downturn, but it was a good time to buy real estate. It was a good time to get in at a good time. And so I was able to get my building and I was able to purchase my building, which is very rare in business, especially African Americans in business. You can rent, anybody will rent to you all day long, but how many of you own your bricks? Most of them don't, unfortunately.
Right. So, who names that deed in? That's like I tell my kids I mentor, who names that deed in?
Exactly. So, and most people are not going to ever get the opportunity to buy because they want to rent to you, because they rent to you till you can pay rent no more, and then you're out. You know what I mean? And like you said, Germantown Avenue is a lot of African American owned businesses, but it's very few that own the bricks. And so because of the timing, I think that plays into it, but I also think favor plays into my story as well. Because I had an owner who wanted to see me win. He wasn't just trying to collect rent until I couldn't pay rent no more. He wanted to see me win from day one. And he told me, when you're ready, I'm gonna sell you the building. You know, I'll sell it to you. And he had people over the years who had money to write him a check for the building. And I needed to get a hamburger today and pay you on Tuesday. I needed all kinds of deals, flipped and flipped. Let me get back to you next week. I needed all kinds of unconventional support to make it happen. But he was loyal to me and I was loyal to him. And we made that happen. So that was one of the trials. But then then there's so many other things with for Black businesses, accessibility to funds. I didn't have no money. I mean, people they look at me and think I got a lot of money, but in the beginning, I didn't have no money. They're not giving you, a lot of businesses, they give you net 30, net 60, net 90. They're not giving no Black businesses that for the most part.
That's right.
Not really. They're not giving you that. You, whatever you can buy with your own dollars, you buy, or you use your credit up. Or for me, I didn't have a lot of that. I don't come from trust fund. My parents didn't have no money. My parents was looking at me like, what you gonna do? How you gonna do it? But I just was always resourceful, and I saved my money, and over the years I built a lot of relationships, and I borrowed money and paid back, flipped, paid it back. I
do what you have to do. See, but Shani, people don't understand that. People don't realize that there is sweat and tears that you pulled. Yes, right, that you have poured into your business. So Shani, tell everyone, what do you sell? And if I come to Dolly's Boutique, what can I expect to see?
Well, we specialize in women's clothing, accessories, and jewelry, but we also sell men's accessories as well. If you come to Dolly's Boutique, the first thing you're going to notice is a high level of service that we offer at the boutique.
Drink. The wine.
We have a full bar.
Let's talk about the wine.
You'll notice that we have a full bar. But not just that. We just offer a high level of service. We like to get to know our customers. It's different than when you're buying online or if you're going into a big store. We like to get to know you. We like to get to know what you like, your style. And then a lot of people don't know what their style is. So if you come into Dolly's Boutique, we will style you for your event. We will make private appointments for you so you could try on different things and see, try something new. You know what I mean? So a lot of people love that special attention. And that is something that I have offered for the entire time that we've been open. And my customers are extremely spoiled. They're used to that high level of service. So anybody who works for Dolly's, if they can't offer what the service that our customers are used to, then it's not going to work out. It's just the difference. It makes the difference.
Shani, how do you keep yourself relevant during this in your industry? Because there's so many people, young people, I can do that. You know what I mean? So how do you keep yourself relevant, Shani, in this type of business? Because there's so many people that sell clothes, who have boutiques. How do you keep yourself at the top of the ladder?
Well, I'm always reinventing myself, number one. And if you're not willing to do that, you're not going to last. I can tell you that I know quite a few businesses that are not in business anymore because they had longevity in business, but when it came time for them to reinvent themselves, they couldn't grasp what was happening now, and they couldn't adjust to fit into what is happening now. People aren't spend $400 or $500 on church suits no more. They can go to Kohl's. Kohl's got lower level lines.
They do. Burlington Coal Factory, yes, they can.
Beer Wayne got a lower level line. Okay, yes, that might have been working in the 90s, but you're not going to survive doing that no more. You got to pivot. You got to be willing to learn. You got to be willing to reinvent yourself. And I've seen a lot of people close that way. So I'm always willing to reinvent myself, and I'm always willing to learn. I do not know it all. I know a lot about the business that I'm in, but I don't know it all, and I'm always willing to learn. People ask me sometimes, like I'm in like seminars and I'm in different things. And then when they hear my story and they're like, you've been in business for how long? Like, what are you doing here? Because it's always something for me to learn,
That's right.
So that's how I try to stay relevant. And I keep the young bucks with me all the time too.
I know that's right. Keep a young buck with you. Keep you in the know. Keep you in the know.
But I keep the young bucks with me and they tell me what I need to be doing, and they try to help me stay relevant as well.
So Shani, tell us about how are you, I was going to say in regards to how are you, I'm always amazed how business people as yourself, how do you know what to order? So you're not left with a ton of inventory. Because inventory and having a surplus inventory or not enough inventory can really affect your business. How do you do that?
Absolutely. Well, and that's the thing. You have to know who your target audience is, number one. Yes. A lot of people come to me all the time. At least once or twice a week, somebody comes to me and says their daughter, their son, wants to start a business. They want to go into this business, that business. Okay. Who's your target audience? That's a part of your business plan, first of all. Do you have a business plan? You have to have a target audience, okay? You're not going to always hit the mark, but once you know who your target audience is and what they like, you can stay in that lane and not venture too far out of it. And so that's the way that, and then, we get customer feedback. We know what our customers like. We listen to what they say, what they tell us. They will tell you. They're the ones that's spending the money. So they're going to tell you what they like, what they're looking for. I mean, some of it is trends as well. I do a lot of research. And before COVID hit, I was traveling a lot, going to trade shows. I was going to seminars all over the country and learning about what the trends are going to be for next year, or what the trends are going to be for winter, or what's going to be for spring 2021. So part of it is trends, but it's also paying attention to your clientele base. If your clientele base ain't, my clientele base is not the spandex generation. That's not my base. So you won't see a lot of that in my store. You know what I mean? My clientele base is more classy, high level classy women who, show-stopping pieces.
One of a kind pieces, one of a kind.
Stuff that you're not going to see everybody wearing. You're not going to see 25,000 of them that Macy's sold, and so, that's what we do. We just pay attention.
So now that this COVID and pandemic has hit, how have you pivoted? How has this, two questions. One question was, how has this pandemic affected you? And how have you pivoted during this pandemic to make it work for you as best as it can?
Well, it took us some time, but we have been able to pivot the business, and it has worked well for us in a number of ways. So COVID has limited the numbers of people that we can have in the store, of course, number one. Number two, the way that it has impacted us is that we're selling more casual, comfy quarantine pieces. Now, prior to COVID, we were mostly show-stopping dresses, outfits, standout pieces. We did do like some casual pieces, but even our casual was like show-stopping casual, you know. So we had to tone it down a little bit, but we still do show-stopping pieces, because if it's in you, it's who you are. So people are still buying, because we're not going to be in a house forever. But we are selling more casual. We have a cute, comfy quarantine line. It's called CCQ.
Oh, I like that.
And it's more like sweats, but really cute sweats. You know,
Yeah.
A little sexy, a little off the shoulder.
Yes.
You know, sweat set. You know, something that you could throw on a sandal with or a booty with and go out on a date. You know, but it's not, you know, full blown Vogue dresses. You know, so we're doing that. The other thing that we're doing is we have increased our marketing and our online presence. So we revamped our website. We offer shop online, pick up in store, or pick up curbside.
I was going to say curbside, yes.
Personal appointments where you could come in for a private appointment with me or another one of my staff members. And you won't have to have anyone else in the store with you at that time. We've increased our days. So we used to be closed Sundays and Mondays and Tuesdays. We still be open Wednesday through Saturday. Now we're open Monday through Saturday so that we can accommodate our private customers on Mondays and Tuesdays. So you can get a private appointment Monday and Tuesday. It'll just be you and I. No more than 3 people in the store. You could try on in a private setting. And then you can shop without having people around you. The other thing that we're doing is we've opened our outdoor, we've renovated our outdoor space. So now we have more space to spread out. You know, we still do, you know, we're used to the happy hour Fridays. We're used to doing like events all the time. Saturdays, I usually order lunch out for the customers, and, you know, you can hang out, shop. So now what we do is we have the outdoor area so we can spread people out, you know, when it is, you know, the weekends when it's busier. So we can still have a sense of what we were used to, but in a safe way.
In a safe way, yes. Because social distancing, people wearing masks. And so, but I've seen that you're selling masks too. You're selling PPE wear too. Like, Shani, you work with it. You've been moving with it, Shani.
Absolutely. And that's the other thing we do. We've been doing PPE. We're doing now custom now. I'm gonna tell you a little secret at the end of this interview. I'm gonna tell you a little inside info about, you know, the direction that we're moving in as well. So, you know, you have to do what you have to do. Like I said earlier in the interview, you have to be able to reinvent yourself quickly. The other thing that I started after the first couple of weeks of COVID, I'll be honest, I was in a place where I wasn't sure what was going down. You know, this is all new for everybody. I had just invested in a new location that I was only in for 6 months, and everything shut down. And, you know, I'm a single woman, you know, I have a large load on my shoulders, and, you know, it took me a couple of weeks to like jump back into who I really am, you know. And we started doing shopping with Shani on Facebook Live.
That's what somebody just said. Dawn Duppins just said, don't forget the live shopping. Yes.
I can't
Thank you, Dawn.
On here, but
can you see the comments?
Oh, wait a minute.
Hit the comment thing at the top. You see the comments?
Oh.
I gotta walk her through it.
Oh, this is my first one on StreamYard, y'all. Oh, hi, y'all. Yeah, I knew my people were gonna be on here.
Yes.
Oh, hey, y'all. Look at Dawn.
Yes, Dr. Warlaw. She has face masking and social distancing. Thank you, Dr. Warlaw. We'll have Twin Sister Docs on a later date. Thank you, Twin Sister Docs.
You know my sister Docs is not gonna let me. They're gonna make sure I have my social distancing. Even like what we do in the store, like before we would have like food, you know, people can get your food. We would have snacks. Now we still have it all, but it's all individually packaged snacks now. Like you'll see if you come in the store now, everything is individually packaged now. So you can get your snacks, but it's like your own little individual bags, as opposed to me having something in a tray or scooping. None of that. Everything is, even the Dolly's cocktail that we serve is in individual bottles now. So we try to do everything safely now, you know, in today's world.
So Shani, how do you balance between work and your personal life? How do you find that balance?
Whew. Well, I have to be honest. I haven't always been good at that.
And that's what most people say. They like that. Most people that I interview, they say that, Shani.
I have been horrible at that, honestly. It's probably well, I won't say that, but I haven't been good at balancing work and personal, but I'm getting good at it now, because one thing COVID has shown me is that it's more to life than just being busy and running yourself crazy. Everything happens for a reason, because COVID has really, really shown me a lot. It's shown me what I was doing to myself prior to this. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been on Germantown Avenue for 11 years, but I've been running like crazy for 25 plus years. And I think it's part of the reason why I'm still single, because, you know, my business has always been number one, you know, and personal life, running, being a socialite, you know, all of it.
Oh, somebody said being a socialite. I know that's right, Shani. Claim that. I know that's right. Shani said being a socialite. Yes.
Yes,
Shani.
I didn't plan for it to be my life, but it is. It was. But trust me, coming out of COVID, it has shown me a lot. I was not taking care of myself. I was killing myself slowly, honestly. COVID slowed me down.
Thank you for the honesty. Thank you for the honesty. Yes.
With you.
Yes.
I had people laughing on Saturday. I was telling them how, like, you know, COVID, just an example. I never really spent so much time at home that I basically ran from the time I got up in the morning until the time I came home and crashed. So when COVID hit, I mean, I wasn't taking care of myself. I would not take my vitamins every day, because I would run out the door in the morning and then you done forgot the vitamins. Now I'm not back till 11 o'clock at night. So I had somebody laughing the other day, and I was saying, I literally I'm out of my 30-day supply of vitamins. It's 30 days. Yes. I'm scared to do a 90-day supply, because I'm literally running like crazy. And then honestly, when you think about the things that you were running for, they really aren't that important. Some of the things were really not that important.
No.
I didn't really have to do those things. So, you know, COVID has really, really shown me that what's really important, which is health. Your health is the most important, and your personal time, having personal time for yourself, and getting to know yourself, and knowing what you want and what you need outside of business. Business is going to take a lot from you, but it doesn't have to take everything.
Yes. I mean, that is so key. Shani, what do you do to relieve stress?
So I love to pamper myself. I'm a spa girl. Whenever I get time, I am definitely a spa girl. That helps me to relieve stress. I like to travel when I can. And then I'm just meditating. I learned how to meditate a few years ago. And reading, those things help me to like kind of settle my mind and, you know, just kind of zone out.
So Shani, what advice would you give to your younger self?
That's another one I could talk about all day long.
What would Shani now tell the 18-year-old Shani?
Learn how to say no. Learn how to say no, number one. And number two is don't glamorize being busy, because it's a trap. Like I said before, being busy is one thing, but some of being busy is just really not necessary. It's just a trap you fall into, and then you're just in it all the time, you know? So those are two of the most important things I would tell myself. But saying no, learning how to say no,
it's the most important.
Yes.
I agree with you.
I know how to say it now. No.
And don't feel bad. Don't feel guilty. Don't question it. Don't doubt it. Don't look back. Don't call back the next day and say no. Absolutely. Own it, and it's okay. It's okay.
Own your no, because it's important. Trust me. And it's a long time to learn that and to feel okay about it.
Yes. So Shani, all the young entrepreneurs out there, what would you tell them as we wind down this interview? What would you tell the young entrepreneurs out there who want to get into who want to be a business owner, no matter what that business might be. They want to be a business owner. What would you tell these young entrepreneurs? What advice would you give them?
So I tell people this, like I said, I get people every week that come to me and tell me they want to start a business. So what I would tell them is, first of all, be honest with yourself. Mm-hmm. What are the reasons that you want to go into business? Because you see somebody else doing it? Mm-hmm. Is it really what's in you?
Yes.
And your why. Know your why and be honest about your why. You know, I knew why I wanted to be in business. I knew I did. You know, I found my passion. I knew I wanted to be in business, but I wasn't exactly sure what area it was going to be in. But I knew where my passions lied. So I always tell people, what is your why? Second of all, don't base your why on what you see somebody else doing. Third of all, do your research. Fourth of all, it's not going to happen overnight. Yes, social media has made things a lot easier for people, but success does not come overnight. I laugh when I hear people telling me they've been at this for 2 years or a year. Really? Hilarious to me. Yeah. You know, when I think about my journey, you know, people get discouraged after a year or two. Man, I would have been quit if it was a year or two. Honestly, I'm just starting to reap the benefits of my whole entire life, of grinding my whole life. Wow. My whole entire life. Mm-hmm. I was cleaning people's tires. They see me on Germantown Avenue, but I was cleaning tires. Mm-hmm. You know?
And you know what? I think due to social media, it allows people to live a lie. You know what I mean? Because on Instagram, on TikTok or whatever, you can really look like you living the best life, but you living in your mom's house with that dirty shower curtain liner. Okay, I'm gonna need you to pull it all the way together. Pull it all the way together. Okay, but it's just that you're just giving the real blueprint of it, Shani, of how.
Yeah, and that's what social media does. It glamorizes everything, and it makes you think that you're not successful if you're not driving a Rolls Royce or if you ain't got a Lambo. And come on, yes, come on,
yes. It's more to that. It's more to that. So, what do you think about what would be your next move, Shani? If you wind down, as I come upon my last question for Convo with the CEO. What is your next move for your brand and your life? What's your next move?
Well, we have several that I can tell you about.
Yes.
So I'm gonna just keep and just, you know, you'll just see what
happens. We'll keep it a tuck.
Well, you know, I tell you in our group text.
Yes.
Our group chat. So for me, I'm coming out with my book by the end of the year. By the holiday. Out finally.
That's great.
I'm nervous though because it's a lot of things people don't know about me in my journey. But you got to be honest about who you are, and people will probably look at me differently when they hear and they see when they hear about some of the things and some of the things I've been through in my life. Mm-hmm. But I am writing my book. I've been doing that during COVID, and it should be out around holiday time.
Okay.
The other thing is, like I said, prior to COVID, we were working on several other locations. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad that I did not sign that paperwork because literally,
that's right, Shani.
Literally 30 days before COVID hit, because honestly, in 2019, I was working on 2 new locations. I kind of halted because I opened the Center City location, so I kind of like put a halt on the plans for the other 2 locations, and one was out of state in another state. And we literally had found the place in January, and in February again, I went and was making plans to do some pop-ups in the location. Then they were trying to, like, the deal was on the table literally like a month before COVID hit. And they were trying to force me to sign the deal before I left town so that when I came back to town, everything would already be in the works.
Yes, yes.
I'm so glad I didn't sign it because I would be on the hook right now for all of that, even, you know, all of that, including all the other responsibilities that I have. But life goes on, and we are we're still going to be expanding, just in a different way. Okay. We're also continuing to work on some of our own lines of clothing.
Okay.
We have
Okay,
a
your own
line that's going to be coming out.
Say it again. I'm sorry. Say it again.
A Mommy and Me line that's going to be coming out around the holiday times. So you'll be able to get your fantastic fashions for yourself and your little mini me's. And it's going to be a collaboration with my niece Savannah, who is into fashion as well, and she's working on some of the designs with me as well. So that's some of the things that we're working on.
That is great. So, Shani, as we wind down, is there anything else you want to tell people? Dolly's Boutique is at 6778 Germantown Avenue, open Monday through Saturday. What's the time, Shani?
So we're open Monday through Saturday. Monday and Tuesday are appointment only. You can call and you can book your appointments either by calling or online. And Wednesday through Saturday, we're open from 11 to 6. And you can come, wear your mask. We don't usually allow more than 3 to 4 people in the store at a time, but we have a great sitting area that you can wait, have a cocktail, have a non-alcoholic cocktail while you wait to come in.
Yes.
And it's always super fun at Dolly's. And just thank you for all the support. I talk about this on my live every week. I do my live broadcast, and it's been phenomenal.
So tell me when you're live, Shani. What day?
Wednesday nights on Facebook Live, and it's on Saturday mornings on Facebook Live as well. Sometimes Saturday mornings doesn't happen because Saturday mornings be a little crazy sometime in the store, but I try to do it early on Saturday mornings. But it's just been great. You know, the response has been great. We do deals that you can't get online or in the store. We do giveaways, and it's been awesome. The support has been really great, and I'm just very thankful that the businesses, we're going to survive. We are going to survive this.
That is so great to hear, where so many businesses are shutting down. So many people are not able to sustain themselves. So I'm so happy for you, Shani, as my friend and my sister, that you were able to sustain yourself during this trying time for everyone. Absolutely. So everyone, thank you so much, Shani Newton, owner of Dolly's Boutique,
for tuning in.
Yes, my precious Bonnie. Thank you, Bonnie. Everybody, Dawn, Lexi. Thank you, everybody, for checking in. Thank you so much.
Look, these are all my supporters. Hey, Valita.
Thank you
so much for tuning in. Elena, love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see everybody tomorrow for our Entrepreneur Spotlight at 6 p.m. here on Facebook Live at ODUNDE Festival. Shani, thank you again.
Thanks, sis.
Again, 6778 Germantown Avenue. Monday and Tuesday are for private appointments. You can call. Shani, you didn't give everybody your number. What's your phone number?
The number to the boutique is 215-668-5221. And you can Google it as well. Or our Facebook page or Instagram page. Instagram is at Dolly's Boutique. And on Facebook is Dolly's Boutique and Consignment.
Great. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. See everybody tomorrow for Entrepreneur Spotlight. We have Ashe Craig, a wonderful hairstylist and business owner. I'm so excited to hear her story. Thank you, Shani. Bye, everyone.